Do you want to add a 220 volt outlet to your garage for charging your Tesla without spending the huge price tag that comes with the actual Tesla charger? Hey, before I get started, let me just say this. If you're not working on your own home or you're not comfortable at all with electricity, please call a hired, licensed, and insured electrician. And make sure in your own state that even if it is your own home, it's legal for you to do electrical work without having an electrician's license. Where I live, if it's my home, then I can do these upgrades without having a license. So let me show you how I would do this in my home. First thing you're gonna wanna know is what kind of panel you have and where exactly your car is gonna park. So in this garage, the car is gonna park right here. And lucky for us, the panel is here, which puts the cord within reach. Next thing we want to know is what kind of breakers, what kind of panel and breakers we're already using. You can see this is a square D, and then the HOM right here is for home line. So this is a home line panel and breaker system. The next thing you got to know is, do you have space in your panel? Notice I've got 2 breakers. That's perfect for a 220 volt. If you're using square D and you don't have space in your panel, it is possible to take out a couple of these single pole switches and put in dual switches, which is they have the little tiny switches, both 20 amp. You can find those links down below. So just to keep things easy and without having to make a mess, I'm going to put the outlet right here below the panel. And then I'm going to come up through the bottom. We'll put the breaker right there. That's going to save me on cost because I only need about 5 feet of wire. So I'm putting in a 50 amp breaker, and I'm going to use, so that it meets the requirements for a 50 amp breaker, I'm going to use a 6-3 wire. First thing I'm going to do is mark out my box. Make sure that you don't, and this is a cut-in box. It has the little wings like this. Make sure when you do this, you want to make sure that these tabs are going to stick over your hole to hold it in place. So I'm going to run my mark. You see I've already got that marked out. I'm going to mark here, and then I'm going to mark in between the tabs, and then just connect the dots. And I always like to go nice and slow, especially if you're not the one that hung the sheetrock. You just want to make sure you're not going to puncture anything. So yeah, this is one of those situations where we've got an extra sheet, so we're just gonna have to cut through that. Again, just be really careful. So my solution to get through this, I just have a hole saw, and I just cut one in each corner. Really, if you're really sure that there's nothing behind here, you can go one in each corner and then just sawzall it down. But I just went through this with the hole saw and went real gentle to make sure that I didn't cut anything. Okay, so I've got the hole cut out. I have nothing between the box here and the bottom of the panel here. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my cut-in box by running the wire already. And then I'm gonna figure out exactly how high from the top of the box. Let me see if I can calculate this. I'm gonna figure out from the top of the box about right there is where I want my connector. So I'm gonna tighten, I'm gonna give myself a little more slack. I'm gonna tighten this down on the wire. I don't wanna pinch anything, I just wanna hold it nice and snug. From the hole with my box, I'm gonna make some room for the sheetrock, and then guide my wire up through here. Now, remember, it's a live panel, so don't touch anything, but I'm just gonna guide that up, this through until my connector comes through the hole. has outlet. The box should be in place, and if I've measured this right, my connector should be coming through there. Now I can put the lock nut on. Get that on there. And then I can tighten that up in a minute, but now I'm gonna move my attention to the box, get it in place. Then we'll connect this and wire up the outlet. So I busted this, just like I said, I didn't want to. Not a big deal. It's just gonna require a little bit of, it's gonna require another trip to the hardware store. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this whole thing set up, get it tied into the panel, get it ready to go, and then we'll run to the Home Depot store and I'll show you how to fix this with some little wings that you can buy. But for now, I like to always, personal preference, I like to do this up, get the outlet connected and into the box before I do anything with the panel. That way I know there's no way that I can get any kind of a shocking experience. I'm gonna do the ground up on top, even though based on this, top is up here. The Tesla cord that comes has the ground on the top, and just so that we can avoid the big loop, I'm gonna do the ground on the bottom or on the top. So first thing I'm gonna do is get all my wires where they need to be. We've got the neutral down here on this bottom, and then the black and the red, it doesn't matter where you go, so either of those on the side. So when you're scoring this, don't go super deep. You don't have to go super deep, because once you get up to a spot, it will just peel. So you just don't push so hard that you're cutting through the insulation of the individual wires inside. The one I want to run first is going to be the ground wire, because the grounding bar is all the way up here. So I'm going to run it along the outside here, give myself a really good 90-degree bend and come in. Okay, panels all made up. I've got those in place. I've got my 12 inches or so of 18 inches of extra if I ever need it. And I got to run to the hardware store and get the wings so that I can do that and get that fixed. When you get these, I just call them wings. They come connected, so you just kind of have to bend. Back and forth until they come apart like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slide this back in behind then what it looks like is just fold it in there like that. Now it can't fall back because of these tabs, and it can't come back, can't come out because of the wings that are going down behind the sheetrock and the firewall. So now we're just going to reattach this, put a faceplate on it, and we'll call it good. Okay, so there it is. It's all finished. We went ahead and put just a rug down to cover the cord up, because so that it can get across the doorway. It's a really great way to keep yourself from tripping on the cord as you're coming in and out of the house. And then my son's got a 3D printed mount for the plug-in part right there. And when he gets back with the adapter, we're gonna do some cable hooks or some cable ties, fasteners, and we'll fasten those to the wall so that it stays up tight against the wall. If you noticed, I have something on my hand that I didn't have at the beginning of the project. Be careful with razor knives. They're sharp, it turns out, especially when you use a new blade. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or if there's anything in here that wasn't clear, please leave me a comment down below. If this has been helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, send it to somebody that you know might be getting a new Tesla. Christmas time is coming up. If they need to install one of these at their house, it's way cheaper, I think.